Welcome to Planet Pluto.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Whoop, whoop. Tango, tango, tango. Hey, hey. What's happening, blacks? I bet you everybody like the Joe Barton pot and anybody you know. They real upset. But don't worry about those pardons because you are officially on the 66th episode of Planet Pluto Pseudo. So just go ahead on, blast off your little rockets, you know what I'm saying? Get your little helmets on, get the mothership, come on over to Planet Pluto Pseudo. It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, a.k.a. Key Lolo. And then right over here, whoops, wrong finger, y'all know who it is, right? It is the one, the only, my BMF. Y'all got to figure out what BMF stands for, okay? Cheryl Morrow, a.k.a. the Hair Oracle, coming to you live and direct. That's right, from San Diego, California. It looks like we kind of coordinated with the black and yellow. I am not a Steelers fan, but we're kind of looking quite Steelers.
Yeah, that's how Rashina be trying to come through.
I know Rashida probably like, yeah, y'all got on black and yellow, little black and something. Yeah, whatever, cashmere sweater. But again, we are officially 66 episodes in. And today, now this is everybody, like, you know, we keep telling y'all we're wrapping it up. We're coming to an end of the year. So we want to get you guys motivated and get ready for 2025 because it's going to be live. You know, it used to be a club in Cleveland called the Q5. And the commercial would be like, the Q5 is going to be live. Where my Cleveland people at? So the 25 is going to be live. And so tonight, this episode is all about faith and motivation. And it's specifically for entrepreneurs or anybody who's in that process of, you know, just trying to get over the hump. And so there is no better person on planet Earth, because Cheryl and I, we did talk about this. We often don't talk about the podcast. She just say, go for a kilo. But we said once the election didn't go the way that Cheryl and I wanted it to go, we can't speak for everybody else in America. But Cheryl and I, we really felt some kind of a way. But we just felt like motivation would be good. And so my cousin is going to be coming in. She's going to be joining us tonight. Officially, her name is Natasha Winegarner Watts. But if you're in my family, her name is Toddy. And so, yeah, howdy, Toddy. All right. So Toddy is like she is the family minister. She marries everybody and she buries everybody and she makes everybody laugh. And we love her with all of our heart. We have like 1,000 family stories. I'm always bragging about how cool my family is. So you got one of them cool families too, don't you?
Yeah, they all cool, all in the cut, you know, until they get together and then it's, you know, mayhem.
Cheryl's mom is so dignified. I wish you guys could see Cheryl's mom. She's just kind of
Southern Belle.
She's like, let's see what you people's doing. She's so classy.
I'll be on the floor sometimes, and she'll just go like this.
Your mother like, you guys better not be talking about me on that podcast. Hey, Mrs. Morrow, you know we love you, girl. We know we love you. But you know, we're nothing without our family. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So we just like to keep it 100. A couple of shout outs in here in the chat. They're like, where everybody at? They coming in. Where about, you know, this is why we're having this wonderful discussion about, you know, having faith. I could tell you right now, I can't speak for any other careers, but if there is one career you should definitely have faith in, it is when you are an outreach worker. That is a career that will prepare. I mean, listen, Eileen, Lawana, what's up, Monica? I see you, baby. You know what, Lawana, you eating ice cream in the winter, girl? Bye. Put that ice cream down and get some hot chocolate. Anywho, I could just tell you 100% for certain and 100% for sure is that, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Just that quick, because the chocolate bar threw me off. But anyhow, it's all
I guess
about
if it was one career, social worker.
that you want to have some faith in, that you're
Mhm.
going to need faith as being an outreach worker, because I mean the doors get slammed in your face, people curse you out. I mean, I could go on. They come to the door with their shirts off. I mean, it's all. I
I
mean,
mean,
that job taught
it's
me that.
it's all the way live.
Hey, when you're working with the public in that very intimate kind of a way, which my cousin, and I'm just gonna, I don't want to do all the spoiler because I want to bring her in and just let her,
Yeah, don't do
do her
spoiler.
thing. But we're gonna have a good time now. If you're one of those people that finds yourself in the dumps a lot, because life can be overwhelming, whether you're a business person or not, remember this particular podcast, Planet Pluto Pseudo, is really geared towards the licensed professionals in hair, skin, and nails. It's also for the hair aficionados. And we know that if anybody who needs some faith, it's going to be those people who are struggling with their hair. You've all been kind of duped into buying things and so on and so forth. But when you open up your business, man, Cheryl, tell them.
Surprise, surprise.
She done put the Gomer Pyle. What's up, bro? Shan, we got Toddy about to come on in the chat, so the family's going to be through.
Surprise,
Yeah. So,
surprise.
sure, right quick, tell them what was your biggest fear in starting your own business? We about to bring Toddy in a minute. So,
Expenses.
your biggest,
Expenses. No, because you know, new is new. New is new. New means you don't see around what was coming around the corner. You don't know. You have a lot of unknowns,
all right.
and so therefore, faith, motivation, preservation, seeing it through, as Mr. Morrow would say, stick to itness.
Stick to itness. What's up, Mrs. Scott Holcomb over on Instagram? How you doing? Thank you so much for
Welcome.
rocking it out with us. We just love to see our peeps come on through. Now, this is good. This is a good, really, really a good podcast because it just doesn't get talked about that much because when everybody in business, everybody just like to look like I got my own business, but we're here to tell you, Cheryl said her biggest thing was having the money, right?
It was expensive.
Uh the big my biggest thing was failure, like, oh my God. Like, I
Uh,
don't know. I gave myself I gave myself like 2 weeks. I'm about this bitch. Okay? I ain't quitting my damn job. I need some benefits out here. Now I'm telling you, I'm for real. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it because I'm from the hood. This was not written in the stars for me. I can't speak for you. I'm just going to speak for myself. But tonight, if you are an entrepreneur, especially in our industry, and you really have some struggles, or maybe you're about to get started, maybe you were people like, girl, this ain't no good time to be starting your own business, bruh. Is you crazy? It's 1,000
there is no
barbershops
good
out here. So you're going to hear so much. So we're going to have my cousin, Natasha Winegarner, a.k.a. Toddy, is going to come in and she's going to help us with faith and motivation. I have, we're going to use our typical videos to help get the conversation going. And everybody's in the chat. We have all been through some ups and downs. So
Absolutely.
get your questions ready. What's up, WK? Is so glad to see you to help us out. That's our virtual co-host, Miss WK, is telling everybody already. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and that like button if you already haven't, because Ladosha be a chatty Cathy and forgets to ask y'all, and Cheryl be steady putting that finger up like, say something. Look at Rashida. She coming in like, look at Rashida. Yeah, Rashida. We looking like some Steelers fans up in here, ain't we? You know what it is. All right. Hit it.
Happy
Black
thankful
and yellow,
Thursday.
black and yellow, black and yellow.
Yellow and black.
Yeah. We look like some Steelers fans, but I'm here to tell you.
What's up, Rashida?
What's up, Ronchina? Ronchina's in the house representing the ATL. So a little bit about my cousin, Natasha. We're about to get ready to bring her in, all right? So number one, first and foremost, I want y'all to understand she is my cousin, okay? All right, so that's number one. Number two, she is a serial entrepreneur in the highest regard, meaning her businesses are really for her people. Now, I ain't saying she broke it, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but she is not one of those people who are just like, yeah, I got this now, no, she is the it girl. Okay, that's number 2. And then number 3, I don't know, it's like a competition between she my cousin and number 3, which is she is a woman of God. Okay, I'm talking about a homegirl woman of God, not like, you know what I'm saying? I want y'all to do. Y'all about to find out now. So I want y'all know what y'all got to do when we bring our peeps through, especially my cousin now. All right. I want you guys to take your left hand together and then your right hand together. Y'all gonna put them together and give a big fat, round of applause for my cousin. I want to fight. I don't have to be my cousin. Honey, here she go, y'all. Bam! Woo! We did not plan the glasses. We did not plan the glasses.
Baby, life planned the glasses, baby.
This is just how it goes down. Come on, y'all. Put your hands together.
We almost 60, baby, and we need these glasses.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. The glasses is what's going on. I am so happy to have my cousin, my little pootie tootie. Okay.
I say do, you say shut, do. Hey,
shut.
Do. Hey.
Shut. Hey, y'all better get it together.
Cheryl, you say Morrow, Cheryl.
Morrow.
I say Cheryl.
Morrow.
We do it.
Hey, girl, like, come on, y'all, we can do it.
She on that West Coast, baby.
We really do look like some Steeler fans, Toddy got the black, Cheryl got the gold and the hat.
I'm the umpire.
Rashida in the chat, like,
yeah. She the Empire.
I'm the umpire. I gotta.
Hey,
umpire. Throw the flag. Throw the flag in.
That's
right.
Yellow
flag. You need a yellow flag.
Look at Rashida. She like it is the black and yellow. Oh, shut Whatever, Rashida. We know just because y'all beat the Browns, whatever. We're still upset. We're still upset.
Good morning, Rashida. If we'd have had a snowstorm, y'all have lost.
Ow. What's up? We got Sir Pooh is in the chat over on IG. We also have Wait a minute, hold on. Hair Girl Regina Pearl. You better get that handle, girl. Y'all be slamming on these handles. Hair Girl Regina Pearl. All right, we got Mrs. Scott Combs is in the chat. What's happening? I hope you guys hold on to your seats. Do not take off your helmets. You are officially on Planet Pluto Pseudo. My cousin said, not Planet Fitness.
Not Planet Fitness, but sure enough, I wouldn't be here. We in Pseudo land.
But Planet Pluto Pseudo.
Pseudo.
And tonight we're going to get it in talking about faith. We're talking about motivations, but specifically for entrepreneurs or anybody that's just in that struggle. Now, this is a really good time. Rashida, if you don't get out that chat with them Steelers, I will fly to Atlanta. Now, my cousin, Toddy, you be in Atlanta too, right?
I'll be there on Sunday.
Her family is in Atlanta. Don't make me come down and spend the night at my cousin's house.
We'll roll up.
You better get that Steelers out this chat.
Right. Steelers.
Saying like, what's up, Toddy? What's up, Toddy?
What's up, cousin?
What's up, cousin? All right. So we're going to get ready and hop into the discussion. It's all about faith and motivations for entrepreneurs and people who just really, really, really like, I want to know the huggy lowdown about, having faith in the midst of adversity, because sometimes business ownership is overrated. But before we get into the actual topic, I took some pictures off your page, okay? And I know it's just really about you and what you do, and so people can get a feel for, you're not just my cousin, like she got any credentials, she got anything to back that thing up. Like, what is she an entrepreneur? So a little bit about yourself. So first and foremost, now my cousin is fine, and people just she doesn't look like this is what she does for. See if I can download it. I just remember I forgot.
Yeah, that video right there wasn't good an introduction.
All right, but
is it a button? Can I hit a button or something, Cheryl, over here when I want to bleep her?
She said, "What?
So we ain't got no silence button. I'm gonna pin
We don't have an eject button, but what we do have is this button right here. Bam! All right, so this is my cousin's, one of her, a few of her businesses, but this one is the one in Cleveland she's most notable for, and it is a bail bonds business. Be free, call me. So tell us a little bit about the bail bonds business, how you got into it, because we got two other snips I want to show you, and so that people can get a feel for who you are as my cousin, and because people like, does crime really pay?
My Lord.
You know, so
Good evening. Welcome to the Pluto Pseudo. I am Natasha Renee Winegarner Watts. I am Ladosha's cousin. Many people always ask us the question, well, how are y'all cousins? How are y'all related? My mother and her mother are sisters. You can't get, it can't be more clear than that. Dosha and I were the first two girls born to the generation, and we were the closest, and we experienced so many things together that you will experience as teenagers. How I got into the bail bond industry, I was working as a clerk in Earl B. Turner Clerk of Courts in the Justice Center, and ran across a guy one day while I was asking, what I normally do is like, what church you go to, what do you fellowship with? He said he never went to church, so I invited him to my church. 6 months later, he asked me to marry him. I wasn't doing nothing on that Sunday, so I married him. My family had never met him. Nobody had, I said some stuff you just want to do on your own.
I'm just going hard.
You don't need all of that extra.
She went hard, Cheryl. She said, you know what?
You didn't have to meet my mom. You didn't have to meet my dad. You said you wanted to marry me. That was all that mattered. So, nevertheless, 5 years later, after we got divorced, he had his own business, which was a bail bond business. I never knew what a bail bondsman was, what a bail industry was. So I quit my job, worked alongside of him. After we divorced, I had to start all over again. But I put ministry and bail together because that was what I did. I brought what I was already doing into an industry and a community that seemed like it needed someone with some compassion, that cared. In the beginning, they used me a little bit. They worked on my feelings and my emotions, you know what I'm saying? Because they knew I was that church girl. Like, call that church girl, she'll get you out. Then when they start coming to court, now I got to become a bounty hunter because you carry the same licenses. So I remember my first time, Cheryl, check this out. First time I'm out, right?
And I happen to have a fascination with the law. People think I'm in the law.
Listen,
Cheryl surprised me every time. I'm like,
my first time out, Cheryl. So the guy didn't go to court, right? He was arrested for domestic violence. Had this woman's face reconstructed. So he didn't go to court. So now this is my first time I myself got to go and find somebody, right? So I get my little team together. Some had license, some didn't. You got, when you from the hood, you take Day, Tay, JJ. You take everybody with you. Look, y'all stay outside and I'll do the work. Don't let them get away. So it was winter time. I get to this house. I say, hey, listen, I need to use this place. I'm looking for this guy. They're like, okay, you can camp out here. I got tired of waiting for him to come out, Cheryl. I guess it was wintertime. He wasn't coming out. So what I did was I went in the basement and shut the power off to the house. Shut the power off, waited for him to come downstairs. So he tipped downstairs with this candle to go to the basement to find out if there was a fuse blown. So I had 2 hunters in the basement. I stayed behind the door. He never knew it was me. We was like, get out on the floor. He was like, ah! He was like, the bounty hunters tell him, you didn't go to court? He was like, I talked to Miss Watts. I was like, you talked to Miss Watts? He was like, I talked to Miss Watts. I said, well, we're going to contact Miss Watts and let her know that we're going to bring you in, and then we're going to get you right back out. You always let them know, I'm going to bring you in, but I'm going to get you right back out. Put them at a little ease, right?
Right.
The girl never came to find out what happened to him. When he never came back up the steps, She never came outside. She never said where he's
So glad
going.
he was gone.
Period.
See, like, just let him on up, get him on up out here. Now,
Also, you did two good things that night.
I freed her and I delivered him
all
Right.
right,
back
now
into
that's
the
what we're
hands of
talking
what he
about.
needed.
That's what we're
So
talking.
the bail industry is a business based around crime, right? We want to believe that crime is going to change in our communities and our world, but it's not. It's like right now it's at an all-time high. People don't want to work. People are looking for employment. People are,
You mean they don't want none of them black jobs?
they don't, I don't know what happened during COVID, but it really diminished the ability of our community development. One, they have to raise minimum wage. That's number one. We've been fighting to get minimum wage to $15 an hour. Even waiting for it to be raised, who can survive off $15 an hour? So I believe that our people are taking their chances by doing other businesses. One of our other old family businesses. No, I'm just playing.
We talk about our family like that now. Everybody got family business. Now, how many
You know-
people in the chat can relate to what Natasha's talking about? If you see that in your community, do you feel like since COVID, that, or maybe just in the recent years, that something about employment and people seeking jobs and the rate of pay is just kind of, janky. So let's get some involvement here. Are you guys agreeing with that? I know we see it in our industry, don't we, Cheryl?
Oh, absolutely. I think that even the lack of financial support during COVID for our industry put in the hopes and dreams. It definitely stalled it in some kind of way in terms of motivation. Yeah,
Now,
and perfectly said, Natasha. The motivation, the pilot is not lit. Yeah.
very interesting. Okay. I want to also come back to Toddy. You said ministry and bail bonds, which is kind of when you talk about being a church girl, and that you said ministry and bail bonds, that's pretty powerful. So I kind of want to get back to that. So now you're into the bail bonds business. A lot of black women, or are you one of the first, or is this something that black
When
women
I
are into?
started, there were two other African American females in the business that were older than me, but in the beginning, I was the only African American female on the floor. That means in the business, in the trenches, meeting people every day, communicating and getting involved in the families. That means sometimes I would have to show up to vigils. I would have to show up to balloon releases. I would have to, help with families bury their loved ones. I would talk to them on
As a
Friday
bail bonds person
in ministry.
in ministry.
That was something that I felt geared to do, because if you're going to call yourself a business, like hairstylist, so I'm sure sometimes you've done hair for a person on Friday, and then that next Friday they couldn't afford to get their hair done, and you did it again as a courtesy because this was a good customer, this was a good client. And sometimes, no matter what type of business you in, your heart is going to be involved in it. You're going to do hair even if you're not paid for it, because it's the love that you have for doing it. And the love that I have for the community and for people is just that. That's my purpose. When you
Okay.
do something according to your purpose and it's aligned to what God has for your life, you'll do it for free. But
Right.
because now we're living in a society that sometimes we have to do business for free.
All right. We're gonna talk about that, because that's talking about now that has a lot of faith
Yes,
when you're
ma'am.
talking about doing something.
Your charm bracelet is hitting. So every time you talk, you can't.
Okay,
really
I'm gonna take it off.
Oh, okay.
I'll take it off because I do a lot. I talk with my hands a lot.
Yeah,
it
me
comes
too.
from
Yeah.
it comes from being raised with 9 brothers. You got to always keep your hands up. They either gonna try to take your food, they gonna try to take something from you. So you got to.
But to your point, right quick, Toddy, we do have some people in the chat that's agreeing with you. They're saying that minimum wage, one person is saying in her state is only $7.25. We have someone here from Massachusetts, and she's saying they have a good minimum wage, but it's really not enough to live on. So again, we are 66, episodes in, and we have Natasha Winegarner Watts, aka my cousin Toddy, and we are talking about faith and motivations for entrepreneurs. We also have Mr. Abdullah. What's up, Mr. Abdullah? Big round of applause for brother Abdullah, who's like, is that your cousin? And a lot of people in Cleveland, because Toddy's really, really popular in Cleveland, in case y'all didn't know. Cousin, we get that a lot. She's very, very popular, and they just question all the time, is she our cousin? All right. So next up, right, because you do a lot of things. So I just wanted to pick a few. But now, if you want to follow a little bit more of what she does when it comes to working with families, hold on, I'm just waiting for my thing to kick back up here. She also has her own podcast as well. So I want you to tell us a little bit about your podcast, and then also your other business when it comes to, like, cooking, entertaining, just a little bit about that. I know you're not all the way in it, but I just want people to have a real good grasp of the totality of what what you're doing.
I love the podcast. When podcasting first started, it was more like just conversation. It was something where you would find information or something that was going on, something hot you wanted to talk about, you want to let this community know. You had the opportunity to do that. Now, for me, I had to hire a production team because I didn't understand how to do all the fixings that came along with podcasting, as far as the camera and, the pictures and videos and the sounds and the music and your intros and all of that. So I put a team together, and amazing team at the time. Right now, we're putting together a whole new team for 2025, which I'm excited about, because when you really get all the information, you want to just come and walk in. You just want to walk in, have a seat, and everything is done for you. The first 3 years that I did it, it was almost like a burnout, because I was doing bail bonds, the restaurant, Victory Center for Youth. So I was working 4 full-time businesses, and then the podcast was more like my fun time. It was my time that I could say, hey, listen, I know you guys didn't know this, but so-and-so opened up a new business. It was always geared towards entrepreneurship, African-American businesses that opened, whether it was a restaurant, a barbershop, a strip club. You got to keep the strippers involved.
Gotta keep the strippers. Come on now. Come on, y'all give it up for the strippers.
Nothing without the strippers. The strippers bring business. I don't care what kind of business you in. They gonna make the people.
Come on.
They gonna make them, if they go to jail for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. They gonna bring you. You know what I'm saying? So and I always wanted to be a dancer in my life, but the Lord gave me cellulite. So because I had cellulite, I refused to go in. And the crazy part, I've never been into a strip club in my life, but I always wanted to go in there. That's on my bucket list. It is on my bucket list.
No, that's so funny. I have a strip club story.
Okay.
Now I'm only 5'4", Natasha. So one of my partner's birthday, that's where she said she wanted to go. Now, period. I just said I'm 5'4". It's hard to be bigger than me, right? So I came straight from Manhattan all the way to New Rochelle, Mount Vernon. Birthday party, boom. Everybody was at least, my good friend, she 5'11". Okay.
6 feet.
Everybody was at least 6 feet. Do you know?
6 feet. Do
you know I came up suited and booted? I'm coming up. Do you know they let everybody in?
But you.
Cheryl could not. How many of y'all in the chat been to a strip club? Now, come on now.
And so I started, and that kind of like really, I was like, well, why are you gonna check me? I'm the littlest one here.
You got to watch out for them little ones. You a hell no, you ain't going through.
Put your hands up.
Yeah.
There
Right?
used to be a song called Short People. Remember that song, Toddy? I forgot who made it. I think it's a
Yeah.
white guy. He made a song about
Every
short.
stance I would be
Believe it.
delivering. I would go to the and meet people to pick up
Yeah.
products. They wanted product. And
Yeah.
every time I stand in, by
Yeah.
in the subway waiting for them to get off so they won't have to get over to the turnstile.
Yeah.
Everybody thought I was Vice.
They was
Every
All
shaking
right.
it.
time. And I'm saying,
So short
yeah.
people look like Vice. Toddy, you got some shout outs in the
Period.
chat. Sir Pooh was saying he loves you, Buki. All
Oh.
right. And then Big Brother
Hold on.
Mo.
Let me go back. My name is
Go ahead.
Natasha Winegarner Watts, single, Pisces, March 12th.
No doubt.
I forgot to put that on there. I forgot to put that love and happiness on
Come
there.
on, Al Green. Put it on
Come
there.
on.
Put it on there. Bro,
I
Mo Smith,
forgot.
what's up?
This my second date on Facebook dating. So
Second day.
listen.
So you have the podcast. You talked about you had your business in food and also entertaining,
Renee's
correct?
place. Mhm.
All right. So and then I'm just kind of saving a little best for the last here. Also you because we gotta go here now. You're also a survivor, okay?
Breast
Talk
cancer
about this.
survivor.
Yeah. So can you talk about your journey and why is this important for you when it comes to faith and motivation and how you process that? We're going to get through this, so keep sticking around. Again, we are 66 episodes in with Miss Natasha Winegarner Watts. She's single, Pisces. Keep going.
Now, when you say single, you mean single like like no dates. I ain't been on a date. I can't even remember the last time I've been on a date.
You're not hooked up.
I'm not hooked up.
You're
I
not
ain't
booed
hooked
up.
up.
Look,
I
everybody
ain't
in the
booed
chat
up.
looking like this.
Don't
Hold
know,
on.
but you know what? I'm glad don't nobody believe me. You know what
Wait
I'm
a minute.
saying?
Hey,
Because
Cheryl.
this time it's like real. Like
Here
I'm
go
like,
the
man.
chat, Toddy. Here go the chat.
What you talking about, Willis?
Right there. Period. What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis? So
What you
tell
talking
us,
about, Willis?
tell us a little about your survivorship and this being part of your ministry. And then we got the one last, and we're gonna hop into it. Okay. So
September 26, 2002, my life changed drastically. I was going with one of my girlfriends through her journey. And I was, pumping her up, sis, I got you. We gonna beat this. We got this. I'm here for you. I'm your ride. I'm your girl. And then 2 weeks later, I go get my mammogram. Then I had an ultrasound and I popped positive for breast cancer. And I then called her and told her she gave it to me. So
you
from
know
now
what?
on, I'm never going to the hospital with nobody else. I don't care if you got pneumonia, whatever. I'm not doing it because that means that I'm going to get it the next time I go to the doctor. No, I'm just joking.
But now, no,
But
now
I'm just
she's a
joking.
survivor. Big round of applause. All right. So big round of applause. She stayed strong through that.
But it was the hardest thing that I ever had to, without crying, it was the hardest thing I ever had to manifest in my life, because it is now that I have to believe everything that I've been preaching, everything that I've been teaching, everything that I've been saying out of my mouth. I had to now stand on it, walk through it, through chemo, through radiation. The hardest part for me, Dosha and Cheryl, was the day I had to shave my head. Because your hair is your glory, and I didn't want my hair to fall out. So shaving it was a freedom for me to say, I'm gonna make it through this.
Okay.
And believing that, because everybody that goes through breast cancer doesn't survive it.
True.
For what, whether it's the stage that it's in or if it has spread it, whatever. And when you think about it and you're given that type of news, death is the first thing that you think of. How am I going to put all of my businesses in order that if this goes bad for me, how will my family survive? How will my family be able to sustain without me being around. So that was the frame of mind that I had to think when you say faith, because the
Okay.
scripture says that now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. My
Mhm.
evidence was that I didn't have any. The only thing that I had to go on was what he had brought me out of previously.
Right.
What things he, drug addiction, divorce, bad relationships, losing a job, filing bankruptcy. He had been faithful in all these other different areas of my life. So now when it pointed to life or death, I had to stand on my faith. And
Mm.
that was all that I had.
And we hope
Uh,
you guys are definitely seeing that, you can never ask for of too much from God. Your requests, your prayers, they just keep piling up. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more again on our 66th episode of Faith Motivation for Entrepreneurs and everybody in between. And Toddy, again, we appreciate you so much for giving us some insight into who you are personally, so you guys can see why she truly is the perfect person for us to come through situations. But I wanted to have a person on that can really talk to us from a real life, because I'm not knocking ministers and motivational speakers, but sometimes they don't get to the nitty gritty like Toddy is going to be able to. Last but not least, and this is the pride of her life, her entire life. Of course, is her son. There he is in the middle right there. Okay. So talk about being a mom to an
wow.
entertainer. You have a wonderful, the best. Oh my gosh, the grandchildren are to die for. I don't want to put them on social media because let me put my grandkids on social media. CJ has not given me permission to put the grandbaby on social media, so I don't want to do that. But it's all about Ray Ray. So tell us about being a mom to a entertainer, because your son is a very notable top chart selling rapper, Ray Jr. He's a motivational speaker, he's a filmmaker, he's an author, he's a lot of things, he's a dad, he's a husband. So talk about being a mom to a
Mm.
son who is in the for real world of entertaining, and intertwining faith and motivation during that, because we saw Ray Ray come up, you know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So talk about that just a little bit, okay? And we'll tell you guys where you can get our son's music at. Okay, so go ahead, talk about that right quick.
The love of my life, the first little boy that I ever fell in love with was Ray Jr. I was a teenage mom when I had him. I was in the ninth grade at Shaw High School. Had pregnant, had sex one time. It wasn't even good. I don't even think it all the way penetrated. I don't even think it, but that thing devastated me, traumatized me. And 6 months later, the doctor told me I was pregnant. I said, I know you lying, kill me right now, because my daddy gonna kill me. Take me on to the morgue, because this is the end. And it was my grandmother that said, I said, Grandma, they gonna kill me. And she said, do you want to have your baby? Because at that time in the early 80s, abortions was killing African American teenagers. Um, and I told her I wanted to have my baby. And she got my dad and my mom together and said, this is what she wants to do. She has a support system. I had my son. I finished high school. I graduated. I went to business college, graduated, stayed home. I was going to make the United States Army my career. I was in junior ROTC, ready to go, ready to roll. And then I realized I cannot leave my child home with my dysfunctional family. And I stayed home and raised my son. I first dedicated him back to God. I took him to Calvary Hill Missionary Baptist Church one Sunday and brought him to the altar and told God that if he would be a father to him and lead me, show me how to be a parent, a mother, then I would do it in the admonishing him first. And my first request of him was that he go to college, that he graduate, and he did that with 2 college degrees, and I thank God for that. And then when he graduated from college, he said, "I want to take you somewhere." And we went to a place in the flats called Peabody's. I don't know if y'all remember a place called Peabody's in the
You're
flats.
telling your age there, but anywho, go ahead.
And one thing he said, "Here, Mom, sit here." So I sat there, and the MC said, "Coming to the stage, introducing Young Ray." And he came out and he started rapping, and I missed my seat. I fell on the floor, and because I couldn't believe it, I said, "The devil is a lie. He won't be rapping with these degrees that I can pay for. The devil is a lie." And
So
he said, "Mom, I gave you what you asked me for. Now this is my passion." And I had to trust that walk.
all
And
right.
that ministry of that music went into all those different areas.
And
And
now
his
he's a
first job,
filmmaker. Yeah,
and
and now he's a filmmaker. He has
he's
great
living
music.
out my dreams. You ever had your child do things that you wanted to do all your life? He did everything but comedy.
All right, all right. Now here's the funny thing. Her son name is Ray Ray, right? And my son's name is Ruru.
Ruru.
And we both were
My
teen
baby.
moms. Yeah, we both
Mhm.
were teen moms. So we're
Yeah.
about to do, we're going to go ahead on and hop into the topic, which is all about, faith and motivations for entrepreneurs. So here's a video that we're going to use to get it going. You're getting a whole bunch, a slew of congratulations and compliments on your success, which now you
Amen.
guys see why she's definitely the person. Here is our virtual co-host. There she is right there, the one and only Miss Esther T. Jones. Everybody put your hands together. But Miss Esther, again, she is the woman behind what you guys are seeing happening. So give it up for our homegirl. Esther is in the house. And she says faith can move mountains. So let's get it started about being in
Esther is
business.
my favorite
So
woman in the Bible.
Esther is her favorite woman in the Bible. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Esther. All right. All right. So here we go. Let's get it started. This is the person's real reality of having her own business. And we want to talk about faith when here it is, Toddy. A person has opened their own business. They're about to get it going, but they are seriously having a change of heart. So here's a video that's going to, it's like a meme, and I get all my stuff off of TikTok. So here it goes. I think I don't want to do this. So here we go.
Congratulations! It was so good! I don't want to do this anymore. What are you talking about? I don't want to do it. I just want to run Heavenly God. Heavenly God. What are you talking
I don't know how.
So it's the reality.
I believe what it is that you can talk yourself out of your own business before you even get started. I got into the restaurant business, didn't have a clue. I knew how to cook because I didn't have a choice. When you become a teenage mom and you the oldest of your siblings, you learn how to cook, clean, wash, fold clothes. You and bleach have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got into the restaurant business, I bought Renee's place from Ted Ginn Sr. It was called Rock 21 at the time. And I knew that it would be a great investment, a business for investments, but I didn't realize the hard work that it entailed. Restaurant business is the hardest work you ever want to do in your whole natural born living life.
So navigate people. And I'm gonna have you and Cheryl go, back and forth a little bit here on this, because this is what people want to know. I've started this business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's a restaurant or a hair salon, remember, as you guys can see, she's very qualified to really give y'all the huggy lowdown. I've started this business, but I don't know, Toddy and Cheryl. I hear what you're saying, that it's hard and this, that, and the third, but this is really, I think I've really bitten off more than I can chew. What are you two going to say to people, starting with you, Toddy, that's in that they're hyperventilating, they're at their wits' end, almost out of money, and no customers are coming through, like that meme. So give them the huggy lowdown on faith and motivation. And if you want to give them a little scripture to help, they could, crack open a good book feel free to do that. But walk them through. We got 3 more clips to go through. So walk them through. I don't know, Toddy. I don't think I should have done this. What are you going to say to these entrepreneurs?
Cheryl, help me. I'm going to say, why not? Because if you have a business and you've done your research, you found out if this business is something that the community needs, because people are who bring you business. If you don't have people, if your business does not consist of people, your business has already failed. Because by word of mouth, by advertising and marketing, your business can be successful. But you have to be the one that is the most dependable. You can't expect your staff and your team to be more dependable than you. Help me, Cheryl.
All right. So she's saying everybody start off. You said something good. Do your research. If you're hyperventilating, maybe you didn't do this part. So in the spirit of faith and motivation, she says, do your research so you can be ready for success. Cheryl, what ye say to that?
Oh my God. You know, hopefully you can catch them right at the precipice, right when they're getting ready to pull the trigger. Don't do it and then get into a situation.
Yeah.
Because you don't start a business to be stressed. You
Right.
don't originally do that. But I will say, do entrepreneurship, regardless of what it is, or small business, do it for the right reasons. Don't do it to want to feel something different, be somebody different,
because somebody else is doing it,
or just because you hate your job. Because you have to remember, somebody's going to hate their job and they're going to be working for you.
Gotta preach. Now that'll preach right there.
Now, Toddy, when you say do your research, tell people like what the French toast and bologna sandwiches you talking about when you say do your research. Help them out.
Do your research first of all to find out, is that business needed? Is that a business that is needed in a community? And can you meet the needs of the people? You can't do business well without being able to know how to satisfy that customer or that consumer. You can't.
Yeah.
Because you want to do it, first of all, because you do it best. You're good at it. I know that I can cook. So having a restaurant wasn't I didn't know the other part of it. I thought just open the kitchen. Let me sell some dinners. We did that at church.
Okay.
A church can sell a chicken dinner, sell the chicken out the dinner. We know how to do it.
All right.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you don't know that you got to buy all the food.
All right. You got
to pay. You got to pay all the staff.
So
you got to pay all the bills.
So you're saying do all this before you get started. All right. She says, do your research. Now, this one here, now it's about to get deep. Now, if you guys have questions, for Toddy, and you're opening your own business, or maybe you're just like, I don't know, I did it and maybe I just want to stop. I see you guys over here on Instagram. What's up, Robin? What's up, Natalie? What's up, Mika? We appreciate you guys so much. Everybody that's in the chat, we really, really appreciate it. It's on fire. So here we go. We're about to get a little bit deeper. So here's the thing now. Is it the mindset or is it the skill set? We're talking faith and motivation with Natasha Winegarner Watts, my cousin, a.k.a. Toddy. Here we go. Check this one out.
If you started that business and you've been stopping and starting, you think that's a mindset problem or a skill set problem?
Right.
It's a mindset problem. So we never build the foundation right. It doesn't matter what business you start. You're never going to be successful because you don't even have a determined mind. You don't even have a committed mind. So huge amount of success is your mind. It's your mentality on making your mind up on, I'm going to make this thing work.
Well, this gentleman is saying that it's your mindset, it's the foundation. What I want you to talk about, Toddy, is having faith in the mindset. because now a lot of people out here be hating on the faith. God ain't never did nothing for me, and I don't know, God is the white man's style. So you got some anti-God people out here.
Listen,
And so let's get into how can faith help the mindset and the foundation. And so let's start right there, and then sure, you're going to come through and give your take on it. So again, faith and the mindset. Will it help? Will it not? What you say, Toddy? It's all on you. Help us out.
first of all, we can't put all the pressure on God, because the Bible says that faith without works is dead. So if you're not having the right mindset, anything you can do can fail. I believe it's always a reset. The reset comes when sometimes you've done it wrong and you want to start over. How many times have we say we're not going to use this credit card? And I'm going to set this credit card to the side, but we always reset going back to that same thing we said we're not going to do. We have to get to a place in our faith, in our business, in our mindset, in our skill set, that if this is something I'm going to do, I'm going to do it until it's successful. We're going to do this until... How you start doing hair? In somebody's basement, in somebody's kitchen. You started somewhere. Everybody has to start somewhere. And that's when I believe the scripture says faith without works is dead. You have to work your faith. You have to challenge your faith. You have to talk to yourself. Cheryl, talk to me.
Okay. All right. So she says you got to have some work in that faith. You just can't keep talking. And you came out kind of bold, Toddy. You said, don't put all the pressure on God, right?
Because we procrastinate. As a people, we procrastinate. We'll say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and we never do it. But then we'll get on our knees and pray and say, God, will you do this for me? Will you do that for me? He's saying, oh, well, what are you going to do? You got to give him something to bless. Give him something that he can blow on, something he can put his hands to, that you can be able to say, oh, I know that was God, because I had nothing to do with that. I would have never been able to come up with that. He needs something. He needs a vessel. He needs someone, because God is waiting for us to move so that he could push us into the people and the areas that's going to come in and connect with us to make the business successful. We are not a one company person. We're not a one business just as ourselves. We need other people to help our businesses work.
All right. That's pretty bold. She said, give God something to bless. All right. You just can't be praying for stuff and then you're not giving God anything to bless. Cheryl, what ye say about faith and the mindset? Toddy is saying, y'all can't not just keep talking and making up excuses and then, getting mad at God. You got to give God something to bless. What do you say to entrepreneurs out here who are like in the beginning? I don't know. I shouldn't have done this. This is hard. I'm losing. Let's go.
Let me go. There's a book that a friend of mine wrote maybe about 8 years ago, and I never will forget it. And it never, I don't know what she ever did with it, but it was called Be Do Love, right? And she wrote it in a matter of 24 hours. I mean, literally a masterpiece. And I say that to make a point. I guess the timing of her passion, her made up mind, as they say, Reverend Ike would say, a made up mind is a mind of God, right? And so my whole thing is that I see a common denominator with people who get so stressed and have become so anxious at that moment of giving up, right? And I would rather you guys to not even try to bother with the mindset, right? And I don't want you to even try to waste the good mustering of faith at this point, I want you to ask yourself, am I the very thing that I'm starting? Don't just do something. Doing is so part of your effort. It takes a lot of effort. It's efforting. Let's say if you are a hairstylist, or let's just say when she mentioned, Natasha, you mentioned before we went live that you would do something for free if you had no other choice, you would just do it because they would come back. That is being your business. That's not just merely doing it, because if you're waiting for the motivation
Compensation.
doing, that's the doing is it's so sporadic.
Well, let me interrupt y'all, because y'all know Kilo about to get into y'all business, right? Now I hear you over there, Toddy, give God something to bless. And I hear you over here, Cheryl, saying, am I the thing I am starting? But my rent is due, Toddy. Cheryl, my rent is due. Can y'all help us out in the entrepreneurial world when our rent is due? We just started this business. Now what us gonna do? What are we saying to these people out here who have given their all, their rent is due, and how do they muster through that rent is due today?
You don't have a business at that point. You just gave yourself a job where you're in charge. That's not a business. And you guys, and let me just say this. I'll be the first one to admit, I learned the energy of that watching my father and my grandmother. It doesn't come natural. There is no, you can wing it. The problem is that there's no business school. You don't really have the armor and the coat and the skin of a business person. The key here, as Natasha said, you will learn it along the way.
So trust the process.
Well, it's an ever evolving, or as they lightly say it, and I hate this word, it is a journey, and I know they oversay it, but you are not that perfect. And let me just say this: give yourself a break. Not just don't put the pressure on God. Are you going to bring it?
All right. Okay, Patty, your turn. The rent is due. I hear y'all, but man, what am I gonna do when the rent is due? I hear y'all, but
you can't. When you start a business, you have to have enough money saved to secure when your rent is due. You can't have a business.
Two rents if you got a business.
You got two rents. You can't take good money and throw it after bad money. You have to allow yourself to create a business model, right? And then be able to pay your bills out of your business model, not your business funding, because that business money has to funnel the business, has to take care of the business. You have to have your business, your home.
Is that what you're saying?
You got to have money set aside for home. You got to take care of home. It's like putting a lien against your own house, hoping that your business survives. You can't do that. We as a people, I just got to say it this way. We take our business money and try to pay all of our bills out of it, our personal bills. We can't be successful like that. We cannot pay all of our personal bills and pay the business bills at the same time. It's sabotage. You're sabotaging yourself, and you're putting stress on yourself because you jumped out of a plane without a parachute too soon.
Okay.
You have to give yourself steps along the way to say, I got this $50,000 towards the business in case this business fails. That can't be all that you have.
And failing could mean that you don't have enough revenue. Like you
reset
have to really talk to yourself in
and
real
reset.
language.
You
Right.
gotta
Right.
reset.
All right, you got to reset. But WeK says Toddy is doing such a great job. The chat is staying really full. You're getting a whole bunch of amens. Talk that talk. But WeK say right now is a good time for Cheryl to show you guys how to do this right here. Here we go.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
All right, we are talking faith and motivation with my cousin, Miss Natasha Winegarner Watts, and you guys are getting the huggy lowdown about trusting the process and making sure that you just don't, what she says here, you can't take your good money, throw it at something bad, and you have to have a plan. And Cheryl says, overall, you know what? Trust the process. Slow down to 90. Remember that, Toddy? Our parents would tell us you're going nowhere fast. So if your rent is due, you know, you didn't have the money, slow it down, and come on back. All right. So here we go. Here is our next one. This one is about faith and failure, for sure. Just talked about. Here we go. Drop your questions in the chat.
If you had one piece of advice for young entrepreneurs, what would that be?
So many people are scared to fail. It's stupid. Like, go for it. Like, you just gotta go. If you sit there wondering, like, is this gonna work? Should I do this? Like, what's gonna happen if it doesn't work? Like, keep asking what ifs. You're never gonna get anywhere in life. You just gotta go for it. I'll throw one more on there. You gotta get great people around you. Like, one of my best skill sets is attracting, like, the right people to, like, learn from, grow from, work together. So to me, it's like, you know, my entire strategy is, like, I'm gonna outwork everybody. I'm gonna have some pretty good common sense. And I'm just going to go for it with great people around me. And I think if you do those few things, I think your odds are pretty good.
And he says having great people around you. Okay. Now here we go. This one is gonna be hard because the world is full of haters. You know, that's what people are saying every time you try to do something. Ninjas like crabs. See you coming out the book, they try to pull you down, and what? Talk about people around you. What kind of people? Do you think you should have people around you? Some people are like, no, you got to isolate yourself. This one is tough because, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, how many people in the chat say have people around you? How many people say, nah, I'm going to keep it to myself? We're going to start it off with Toddy. Take it away. Is people credit good or nah? What's your take on people around you and all that other good stuff?
Everybody is not going to like you in business. Period. They not gonna like how you do business. Why? Because I didn't like how my boss did stuff. Until I became a boss, I understood why he did things the way he did them.
Can you say that one more again? I want you to start it off again when you said everybody is not going to like you, because I got a little clip. Hit it.
Everybody is not gonna like you.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's hard. Okay.
Listen, it's facts. I'm gonna tell you something. I never knew how hard it was to fire somebody until I had to fire them. Because theft in business, to me, is the worst thing somebody could do. Because if you ask me, I'm going to give it to you. Don't take from me. That's when you bring out a different side of me.
All right, chat. What's the deal breaker for you as an entrepreneur? Natasha says theft is the deal breaker. We're talking about again our people power, but she also says the deal breaker for her is thief. We're going to turn it over to Cheryl in a minute, but Toddy, keep it going about people power and like you said, theft. You got some deal breakers for you as an entrepreneur.
That's basically it for me, because if you got good people around you, they're gonna be a drawing mechanism for your business. You got to get rid of the cancerous people, those that complain all the time about everything. No matter what good you're doing, they're always going to find something negative.
So what do you do? Give us an example of what would you recommend to a salon owner or business owner when they have those negative Nancy's or Debbie Downers. Or I remember one time a lady came into the salon and was like, we was charging too much money. We was broke. And Lady T was like, hold up. The devil is a liar. You are not broke. You are in between blessings. And so now that's our code at the salon. We say, hold up. You can't come in the salon and say you're broke. You have to say you're in between blessings. So what do you say to entrepreneurs who have the negative Nancy's, who are in the salons, the barbershops, they're complaining? What do you say? How do you work with that? What's your advice? Give them a suggestion.
In the salon setting,
or any business, just how do you handle negative
Nancy? I like the salon setting because you guys are more like social workers. When we come to get our hair done, we can have the perm. While you got the perm in our hair, we can be talking about him. And we kind of do a lot of men bashing in the salons. So we're able to, say how we feel, but then again, you got to watch who you say it around. Because then things tend to get messy, and then that person says something to somebody else, and then that person says something to somebody else, and then it just starts spreading. But when you guys have entrepreneurs that are complaining, then it's bad for their business, because that means that they don't have enough confidence within themselves to be able to say, hey, listen, this is not working. I got to figure something out. Let me go talk to a person that's looking successful. I remember I used to follow this guy around. He's a bail bondsman. This was the slickest, talkingest guy I ever seen before in my life. I used to follow him around. He used to be like, quit following me. I said, you it. Baby, I got to follow you. You is what's happening. But later on, he became my friend to tell me different things about how I could be better. And guess what? He didn't have a cell phone. He had a pager. wrote more bonds than anybody off a pager. He was who I wanted to be like. So I had to follow him around until one day he just said, stop following me. And I said, sometimes you got to get around somebody, even if you get on their nerves. That's doing what you're doing already so that you can be better.
All right.
I want to be better.
All right. Follow someone who's successful. Cheryl, what is your take on people power? Do people really matter to those of us who are in the beauty industry? We're starting off our businesses. We're talking faith and motivations. We are 66 episodes in. So Cheryl, take it away. What's your take on people power?
All owners, in my experience, please know the difference between jealousy and envy. It'll really take you far, because most people, especially in the midst of success, and if you're successful, just make sure that you know the difference between jealousy
and good.
Those who are jealous.
That's good.
Those who are envious, and the ones who are envious, those are the ones you should make sure that you speak to them, and that you completely make sure that you get them out of your business as soon as possible. Jealous people are harmless, because they just need something that they want.
That's good.
People who are envious want yours.
Wow.
They don't even want anything like it. They just they want yours.
Tati, why is that resonating with you? Because you keep saying that's good. I never heard no one even say what Cheryl is saying about jealousy people you can handle, but the envious people, Cheryl says, these are the people you have to watch out for. And Tati, you're like, oh yeah. Why does that resonate with you? And if you understand what Cheryl is saying, drop something in the chat.
I understand well what she's saying, because envious people will report you. They will try to turn you in. They'll try to get your business shut down. They will do whatever they can do. They'll throw rocks and hide their hands. So she's absolutely right. I just never heard it put in that in that form before, and a jealous person can only be jealous for a moment. Yeah. Because while they're jealous on one level, you've moved to another. They can't stay jealous of you, because what I found out is that I tried to bring everybody up with me. Every person and everybody that starts with you won't finish with you. So I looked at it in so many different areas that says, you feel like that right now. You say this right now, because they haven't seen it all. You haven't seen it all.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, Cheryl comes with something deep like that, Toddy. My brother, Shan, taught me to do this.
Stop. Hammer time.
Y'all drop them hammers in the chat for my homegirl Toddy and my homegirl, my BMF Cheryl Morrow, that says, you know what? Don't worry about the jealous people. It's the envious
know
people.
The difference between.
Yeah, I have never heard that before. And this is why we have Planet Pluto Pseudo, because nobody talks about this stuff. This is what makes us America's favorite podcast when it comes to Afro hair. Natasha, we do have a question in the chat, and this one came from Rashida that says, what are you to do when you're an entrepreneur and people always want a discount or they want something for free? Toddy, you go first, and then Cheryl, can you answer that question? Also, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. So that's what she wants to know. People
everywhere want to hook up. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, they want a hook up. But this is what I used to tell them. I said, baby, when I go buy this food, they don't give me a hookup. They want full price. I don't see at the bottom of my receipt, I got hooked up. I'm going to tell you, the biggest problem I had in the food industry was gratuity. Gratuity almost made people not want to come in the doors. But we had to put a gratuity on things because they would not tip the servers. We could not. It was impossible. But you can never make everybody happy. Some people didn't care what their bill was. They're going to tip no matter, they got good service. They're going to let you know it. You're going to always have that table, that person, that family member, that friend, that ex. You ever had an ex want to come in and say, is this on you? No, hell no, it ain't on me. It's on you, because we ain't together. So no matter where, honey, trust and believe. And you want to know what? I used to do it. I used to try it. I was like, where's my discount? And somebody would get me together. Everybody wants.
So you recommend that they actually say something to the person about why you cannot give them the hookup?
Absolutely. Or just do it. You know what I'm saying? If it's an elderly person, or if it's someone less fortunate, baby, don't worry about that. If you don't have it all, it's okay. But somebody that you got on Louis Vuitton, you got on leather, you got on your alligator shoes, and you talking about a hookup, we're not doing that.
All right. Okay. Cheryl, your turn. Rashida wants to know, when you're an entrepreneur and you get those folks that always want a discount or no charge, what can she do? What help the business owners out? And Rashida has paparazzi. She's a paparazzi jewelry agent.
Okay. Now, of course, I'm sure you have those. That's a rare. Not to say that it doesn't happen often, but you have to understand those are the envious people we're talking about. Those are the envious people.
Come on, Cheryl.
Because you have to remember, envious people, regardless of whatever scale they're at, 1, 2, 3, or they're 9, 10, right? Or anything in between. The problem is not you, and the problem is not your business, and it's not the product. These people have a hard time valuing. The word is value. They have a problem valuing things of other people. Now, they don't, and you have to also remember, even when they purchase it, you know where they'll do with it when they get home? They won't value it. So it's not that they want it so bad that they're not willing to save and then come to you next month and say, I have all the money. It's not that. It's that you have to understand once you set a valuation, and it doesn't matter. They're going to try you anyway. And there is a group of people who are so envious that what they're saying is, I want to make you feel less valuable. Because you don't do that in a Mercedes-Benz car lot. You don't do that in anything you really value. No one goes into Neiman Marcus or any store and say, I want that, but I don't want it at that price. It's really actually an emotional response to something that you as a person, Rashida, are doing. They're trying to devalue you. Because as soon as they get the necklace, or as soon as they get your product, or as soon as they do get your service, they're just devaluing it. And I think as business owners and entrepreneurs, we have to learn that is a profile.
The price is your price.
Right. And it has nothing to even do with the item.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they would ask you that.
I think that's pretty powerful that you correlated that people who are asking you for something at no cost are more than likely going to be those envious people. And so we're talking about people power in this segment of faith and motivation for entrepreneurs and everybody in between with Natasha Winegarner Watts. And Toddy talked about a little bit. You said you were one of those people who were always trying to take people with you. I have a book that I would recommend because I had that as an issue. Okay, so I can relate. And this book that I'm going to recommend is maybe out of print, but maybe you can get the download because it's a very old book, and it is called Jonathan Livingston Seagull, A Story. And so it's by Richard Bach. And I don't want to tell it all, but it is a story exactly about what Natasha is talking about when you keep trying to take people with you. So this was the seagull, Jonathan, who wanted to take the seagull to the top. And it's a little short story, but it is very, 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 very powerful. You can read it. It's a one-sit read. It's very captivating, and you will walk away with a very valuable lesson about trying to take people to the top with you. So Toddy, thanks for that one. That's a good one.
Rashida be spoiling people. I know she be giving payment plans. I know it.
Rashida, you out there giving payment plans on that jewelry.
And
baby, you spoil them with that layaway. You spoil them with that layaway, Rashida. You spoil them.
On the flip side of that profile customer, there is also a business owner that wants to be liked.
Yeah.
And when you are in the feel-good hospitality business, your jewelry is a feel-good.
It hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but the problem is that you're lowering the bar for the next person that does value your product.
All right. So if you own your own business, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Okay. Both Natasha and Cheryl says you have to stick up for your price. And if you do so, you're just giving it away and you're only going to end up devaluing your business. Natasha says you have to tell them the answer is an emphatically no, or if they honestly just don't have it, you said just go ahead on, and you said just give it away, right, Toddy?
Yes,
all
absolutely.
Right.
Because you're gonna have some customers that just cannot afford the full price, or sometimes I go places and I don't have all the money with me, and they'll say, you're okay, fine, that's good, here, that's fine, take it. And then because they were so kind, I shared that with someone else. They say, oh, where you get that from? Oh, I got that from Rashida's boutique. And then I said, this is where you can find her, this is her number. And then because she was kind and nice to me, in return, I'm able to talk about how good her product was, and someone recognized it.
Right. So there you go. Miss Sir Pooh is agreeing with everybody. Again, if you are an entrepreneur, this is the time to get your questions in. We're talking about having faith and using a little bit of motivation when it comes to having your own business. And Rashida says, thank you all. This is very great. Okay. So she's very appreciative of that. And it doesn't get talked about because people think it's funny. But like Toddy says, you know, you got to speak up. And then the reality is some people really just don't have it. And if you can't afford it, just go ahead on and give it to them. And now here's our last clip. And this one is about motivation against all odds. All right. So this gentleman has 4 points of motivation against all odds. We're just going to kind of process them just a little bit. Here we go, guys.
You say entrepreneurs are crazy. You have to be crazy to be an entrepreneur. Because you got to believe you're going to make money month end, which often you're not. You got to believe you can compete with big companies, which often you can't. You got to believe you can reach all your customers, which often you won't. And you have to believe you can do so cheaply and cost effectively and make a profit, which in the early days you probably won't do. If you don't believe those 4 things, you're not going to succeed as an entrepreneur. So you've absolutely got to be certifiable, absolutely crazy.
All right, Cheryl. So I'm going to pick one out of here that I want you guys to really just kind of hone in, because now we have all this podcast is primarily they're all hairstylists and barbers in the channel, right? So it's the big C word. And I want you guys to just come on and give them the pure and unadulterated your thoughts about KRS-One's favorite comeback. I love this one about competition, where he says the competition checks and keeps checking. So talk about competition, because that's my thing. To me, competition checks and keeps checking. Cheryl, what is your take on competition? And then Natasha, I want you to follow up as well, because in our industry, ooh, you know, competition is fierce. So, you know, anywho, Cheryl, take it away. What's your take on competition? We'll get those other points. And then Toddy, you're going to come back through. What is your take or advice or anything about competition?
I don't do it.
Okay.
I never compete. I dominate. It's too risky.
Hold on. I got wait a minute, Toddy. Hold on. Do it again, Toddy.
But let me explain.
She said, oh, hold on. One more show. White man, come again. She said, oh.
Competition is too risky. Competition.
I wish I had my flashlight.
Put it this way. Let me make my point.
Y'all drop y'all comments about competition in the chat. Come on Instagram, come on Facebook, come on YouTube and Instagram. You know, talk about that competition. Cheryl say, no, can do.
Because if I were to come to Cleveland and wanted to open up a salon, and I'm going to be the baddest thing that ever held a flat iron, right? I would be competing. I would be competing with the best of the best of the best. And I don't want to do that. Competing is a waste of my time. I have to be so unique that I dominate in something that is really authentically so different. Because if either you're the best, you're first, or you're different. And two of those is a matter of opinion.
Ooh,
so I come into a environment to where I can be authentic. I can't do what Sir Pooh do. I'm not competing with no Mr. Spritz. I ain't messing with no Key Lolo and no cup. I'm not doing that. I can't leave it up to chance like that. I can't compete. Don't compete. Dominate.
Let me put the P.
Find out what you do and what you can uniquely do yourself. There's about 8,000 NBA players, baby, and about 7,955 of those are the only ones competing. There's only 40 players in the whole NBA that are dominating. So I'm just basically saying, so what I give respect to women and people who do the best at what they do. I don't even touch it. I go in a completely different way and I just try to be me. That's what I do.
All right. Okay.
Answer that, because competition, baby, that's going to drive y'all nuts.
All right. Well, we know we got some attention because we got Caramel House Incorporated is in the chat over on Instagram, and Caramel is like, yes, yes, yes. Now, talk about don't compete, dominate. Nobody's dominating the theatrical world like Caramel House
There
here,
you go.
located here in Cleveland, Ohio. So thank you so much, Caramel House, for rocking out with us. Also, everybody on Instagram. So your turn, Natasha. What is your take on competition? Cheryl says, don't compete, dominate, and ye say
Strategy. I've
Yes.
always strategized my businesses. I want my business to be different than what someone else is doing. I don't have time or the strength or the energy to compete.
That's
I
right.
don't have it, because what you're doing, that means that you're paying more attention to what other people are doing than what you should be doing. It's like going to your favorite movie. Do I go to Valley View? Do I go to Brooklyn? Or I'm going where the red chairs are, or I can stretch out. I can have food brought to me.
There you go.
Strategizing. Those are the places I want to go. Now I want to go and I don't want to go get my popcorn no more. I want my popcorn brought to me. So your business is only going to be on the level that you bring it to.
Love
wow.
it.
Wow. Okay. I think
It's
is your
always
mind.
strategize.
Okay, so you said Now, when you say strategize, are you writing this out or are you thinking this out? So a little bit more, because we have some people in the chat are new. Some people it's been a while. So when you say strategy, are you thinking this out, or are you writing, or is it a combination of both?
It's a combination, because the scripture says that write the vision and make it plain. And that when you're talking about faith, you have to believe that God is going to give you the thought. He's going to give you the vision. He's going to give you the strategy. And then you're going to put your spinners on it. You're going to put your wheels on it. Because if you look at it, you have 100 churches on the same block, 200 beauty salons on the same block. But what doors are swinging open back and forth? Those that are taking time to find out what the customer likes, what is keeping them coming. Something is keeping them coming. And eventually you're going to start seeing them dwindle out, dwindle away. If your food's not good, nobody's going to keep coming to that restaurant. They're going to give you one shot. If you don't pass that one shot, they're not coming back.
Eminem says you better lose yourself in the moment you want it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss the chance to grow, because opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Okay, before we wrap this up, just one more. And this one is about having faith and motivation and reaching your customers, which is what you were alluding to, Toddy. So Cheryl, take it away with having faith, and what type of motivation is needed to reach those customers.
Well, I would say, and the faith is such a large word, but use faith with a little bit of imagination. And when you use your imagination, go all the way
out.
Go all the way to the end of the dream fulfilled, as if you already have achieved it.
Pluto.
Because it's easier to imagine it in terms of its. Let's just say you want a salon. Let's just say, for all intents and purposes, if you imagine what it will look like as if it's already done, and then at that point exude, I'm glad I did it. See people congratulating you, seeing people at your ribbon cutting. And then in terms of that point, the faith at that point, becomes a figment of your imagination, becomes real. And always remember, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and something imagined. And if you're faithful with that particular imagination, God gave you a mind, a brain before he gave you a book. And just be able to just picture that success, because I don't have a bullet in just how to do this.
She's not gonna drive up with a yellow bus and drop all the customers off, guys. So use your imagination. See it.
See this salon buzzing.
Yeah.
You know how that feels because you've experienced other people's successes already. So you know it can happen. You've seen the evidence. You know it's real. And so imagination all the way to the end, dream fulfilled, and be faithful with that particular inner vision. And it's happened to me several times.
All right, I like that. That's very good. All right, here she go again. All right, Tati, you're gonna wrap us up.
I'm just gonna leave you with
how you get some more customers.
Scripture. I'm gonna leave you with this scripture about faith, since it's the motivating factor behind anything that you do, and it's found in the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, and it's the 6th verse, and it says, "But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must first believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." There is a reward attached to your faith, because it is therefore translated that if you are diligently seeking anything, there is a reward attached to it. You have to realize and understand that our faith is not only connected to what we say and what we do, but it's also believing, without a shadow of a doubt in your mind, that he's not able only, but you are able as well. There's a scripture that David said that if he don't do it, he's still able.
Okay.
You're right.
As we wrap this up, to her point about the book of Hebrews and having that faith and seeing it through, because it's not going to always be about the material, the tangible of what you can touch, and you have to see it. And this is a very true story. So it's no big secret, if you guys have been following me here, Cheryl and I here on Planet Pluto Pseudo, or America's favorite podcast about Afro hair, the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. I've shared with you guys on several occasions that my son, Devere, made his transition about 10, 11 years ago. I just stopped counting after a while because it always seems like last year. So in her recommendation of reading the book of Hebrews 11 verse 6 and having this faith. So here is my son just not going to make it. Natasha and I were the only people in the intensive care unit, and surely he was not going to make it. He had no vitals. They did the tube down the throat. It was pretty much
told us
it was over. It was over. And so they walked out to give us a moment so that, they could get ready, because this was not looking good for my son. And so I looked to Toddy and I said, I don't believe God would let Devere leave here without knowing who his mother is, because he had a seizure and he did not know any of us. And that's when he went, and I just could not see that happening. So Toddy was like, well, we're going to pray. And I'm looking at Toddy like, I don't know, cuz this is pretty much the end. And Toddy said, well, we're to agree, and so it is. So we're going to pray. So I'm not a churchy person, but we grew up and this is how it is. So Toddy took the lead. And when I tell you she prayed, this cousin prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed. And you won't believe what happened. On everything we own. I'm here to tell you, I have her here, guys. He woke up.
He woke up.
He woke up, Cheryl. He woke up. I am not making this up.
Looked
He
us
was
dead in our face.
looked us dead in our mind. You, he woke up, Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the tubes and he's moving and you know, I'm trying to tell you, like, don't touch, don't just, don't move, don't touch him. And the doctors, they're not in there yet. You know, it's just me and Toddy looking, and his hair is all wild, and he's got this tube and everything. And we didn't think he could talk. And he looked at Toddy first. And then he looked at me, and Toddy, like, don't say nothing, Ruru. It's okay. We here. And guess what he said, Cheryl? You guys are going to love this one. Mind you, he was dead like 1 minute ago. He looked at Toddy, he looked at me, and he said,
y'all
damn, y'all really is cousins. Y'all look just alike.
I couldn't believe it.
That's a true story.
I promise you, Cheryl, in the beginning stages, it's like God has to show himself or prove himself to what you're asking him for. And it was mind-blowing. But what it made us do and realize is that prayer was the only weapon we had. It was the only thing we were able to do at that time. So it was what the doctors said was over. God says, for them it is. It's over for them. This is where I take control. This is where I come forth. And that will be a test. That will be a testimony to the day I die. Is that in that moment, he allowed Ruru to come out of that coma state, and that state that he had been given up on, to show us that if you got the faith, if you believe, like the scripture just said, believe that he is. This is the evidence. Remember, you just said that word? Mm-hmm. It's the evidence. He says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We had never seen anything like that before.
This is true.
And it was our evidence.
And on that note, we hope,
beautiful.
You know, we pray. Let me give my cousin a big round of applause for the. I will tell that I'm with you, Toddy. I tell that story till the day I die up out of here, because that is, I mean, we saw it with our own two eyes. We experienced it. And this is why you are the perfect person in your ministry of bail bonds, of entrepreneurialism, of podcasting, and so much more that you do. I just want to remind you guys that my cousin is doing something very, very wonderful right now, and it's happening here in Cleveland, Ohio. But if you find it in your heart, feel free. This Saturday, December the 14th, she's having Pink Christmas, and this is for at-risk youth, children that have incarcerated parents, children of parents who are fighting cancer. And so I will drop the information in the chat after the live. You can send a Cash App, or I'm sorry, you can Zelle. No amount is too small. If you're here in Cleveland, if you want to drop something off to our hair salon, you can by way of toys or a gift card. She would appreciate that. And so she would take it up until the last moment and the day after, because that's my cousin. So feel free. But the number that you can donate to right now is 216-554-3733, and that is via Zelle, and that's for her Pink Christmas. Okay, so you guys go ahead on and make a nice donation to my cousin and all of her wonderful endeavors. We're going to be back next week with Mr. J.R. Fogel. Okay, J.R. is the man with the master plan. He has been winning all kinds of awards and entrepreneurial support here in Cleveland. He has an app called Local, LOKUL, and a host of other things. And he's going to be in here talking about power networking, of course, and motivation. So, Tyler, you know JR, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
JR is the man, and the Cheryl's aunt is going to close us out. Speaking of health, all right. And so, this is Auntie Joy. Okay, so Miss Joy is also she's a health nutritionist, and so she's going to be joining us on our last episode. You don't want to miss that one. So we got to go into the world. Into the new year, eating healthy again. The book to go and get is Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and that is all about trying to take people to the top with you and why that may not be a good idea. So get that book. And so everybody, and look at here, look at Real Roots, Toddy. He says we do look alike. People never believe, like, are you guys really? They come to the salon like, is Toddy really your cousin? I'm like, yeah, she's my cousin. They always go, her mama and my mama are sisters. We are not.
We're gonna do a cousins reunion, and we're gonna let the city just bring out all the cousins.
God!
We're gonna have a whole cousin dialogue. We're gonna bring all of our pictures of our baby pictures, our moms, our sister. We're gonna just let the city know that we got a cousins generational breakage that we're gonna do. Period.
All right, there it is. It's gonna happen.
Cheryl, we flying you in. Boom.
Oh my
Cheryl, Cheryl gonna be there. She ain't got no choice. She already know. She already know. Okay. All right, Toddy. We thank you so very much. You just did a great. You did a great job.
Thank you so
Toddy,
much.
where is your podcast so people can go and check out your podcast and get some subscribers? So tell them the name. I'm going to type it in right quick as you talk. So give us the name of your podcast.
It's the Sister, SISTA.
SISTA.
Sister Natasha podcast on YouTube. We also do live on Facebook and Instagram. We have our 4th season starting the 2nd week in January with a brand new production team. With thanks to my son Ray for revamping my podcast. I'm so excited. It starts with this big, huge photo shoot. I get to, I'm a lover of hats. So I am starting out the whole month of January with hats by Percy G. So I'm very excited for this reset that I had in my life since August. And I promise you guys, it has all been by faith.
All right. Now, Cheryl, we want to come to the film festival because we missed it this year. By the time we started, it was over. But Cheryl, we want to get our film. Her son. Yeah, her son. Yes.
Independent Film Festival will be in Atlanta next year. I'll make sure to share all the information with you guys. It was mind-blowing, life-changing. I learned so much. Sometimes we don't want to listen to our kids. But baby, they smart. Smart.
CJ and Ray Ray gets us together, don't
baby,
they? That's
smart,
CJ and Ray Ray. They get us together. All right.
They smart. I'm connected to young people from now on.
Sure got me together with them.
If you over 45, I see you at the range.
All right, guys.
I would always say I don't work with anybody my age.
All right. Okay. Cheryl, any closing thoughts for us as we wrap this up? Are we all good? What you want to say to us before we wrap it off about faith and motivation for entrepreneurs?
Get them business models, not them business plans.
All right. And don't forget, use your imagination. And Toddy says, strategize, and strategize. Yes, we are sister cousins. All right, guys. You have been wonderful. Don't forget
you guys.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Merry Christmas.
Are so welcome. Merry Christmas. And don't forget,
if you
follow.
If you know someone that is incarcerated and their children needs toys for Christmas, you can inbox me at 216-554-3733 or either Sister Natasha podcast or anything. Listen, or children that parents are going through cancer. We lost a young lady to cancer who has 12 natural children. A young lady that has 8 children. I mean, people in our city and our community are hurting, and it is our responsibility to make sure that no child goes along in this Christmas without something from somebody that says they love them. So thank you so much for everybody that's already donated. We couldn't do it without you, though. I want to thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your love and your support, as always. So anytime you need me, you know I'm right here.
All right, guys. And on that note, we appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to join us next week. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Cheryl, anything else, or you're pretty good?
Let's head out and be good people this holiday season.
All right. She says, Merry Christmas, guys, and a Happy New Year from Toddy. All right, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Oh,
good night.
You know what we say when we're signing out, right? Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better,
is best.
Come on, Toddy. Come through
Period.
now. That's how cousins do. Bam. All right, guys.
All right. Good night.
Welcome to Planet Pluto.